Well, hello to all you miniatures enthusiasts on the interwebs. I'm Doc Eon. It's another Monday, this one the 14th of June, 2021. I'm here to ramble about miniatures. And this week I have completed a few more than last week. I think last week was 5 or 6. We're up to 7 now. So I did these two-legged lizards, the ones with the forearms missing. Again, I don't know if this is anything that could ever exist, but hey, it's fancy. I did the little head on the pole from, which is really from the Valkyrie miniature. It was part of the set dressing for that, but I decided to put it on its base of its own and make it a scenery piece. We have from those aquatic miniatures, we have swimming lizard person. Kind of in an underwater pose here, and then we have let me see. Okay, here's a hassle-free miniature, I believe, which is the Conan dude with Rupee in Avar or something. Finally, we have a few heresy miniatures. We have some heroes here, or I don't know if this guy is a hero. He's charging forward with, as I mentioned, I used the most unusual weapon I had for him of the ones provided. He's kind of looking at an odd angle. This is because he's looking like this direction. He should be looking this direction, same direction as his body and pointing, and that he's swinging the weapon. This is because I attached the head before I attached the hands with the weapon, so I wasn't exactly sure what the angle was supposed to be. Also, the head was kind of finicky to get seated properly, and I had to be happy to get it to stick at all. So well, let's just say he's charging in this direction, and then he got distracted. Squirrel! Over to the right. Oh well. And finally, we have Manbane the Minotaur ripping another knight in half. Nasty piece of work. So, yeah, we have made some progress. I'll have more detailed still pics of these at the end of the video, but for now let's just move on to what is still in the works. So, only one of these wizards has a staff with a knob at the end. So you have to question whether the others are real wizards or not. But once I paint up their robes, maybe this will be more obvious. I've done some work on their skin and their beards and hair, you might notice, though the youngest one doesn't have a beard, so he's also the most simply dressed. In the back we have some of the newest models to be prepped. We have Big Boris here, and we have the Valkyrie, and then we have the oldest ones from the queue, the ones that have been around here the longest, these underwater ladies. I think the reason I'm putting off painting them is because the sculpts, I don't really like the sculpts. See, their clothing, it's hard to make out whether it's clothing, armor, or just parts of their body, and how it should be painted. And when something is unclear like that, it sort of turns me off. It makes me unmotivated. But I'm gonna try to push through my lack of motivation and just make a command decision and say that, oh, it's this, it's armor, or it's barnacles, or whatever, and just paint it as something. Just make my mind up and go with it. Yeah, because all the others on the table right now are extremely clear. I mean, these Discworld minis are very well sculpted. They're very, very, very dead simple and clear in what the various parts of clothing are. Boris isn't wearing any clothing to mention, just a posing pouch. And this Valkyrie is, well, she's sort of in Grecian armor, but it's you know it's obvious what it represents. It's not anything difficult. So yeah, most of these I really like, and I'll get right on finishing them. So I've revived the Bunny Girl project. I've decided to prep these now that I have more time. See, we're starting to get into the part of the summer where I have free time, and the reason I've stalled on these is the difficulty of assembling them, because you will notice that none of them have tails or ears sculpted into them. They are separate. Here's a little tail, here's the two ears, and there are no prepared spots for them. Which means what I have to do is bring out my trusty pin vise, and I drill into here and on top of the head 2 little holes and glue these in. And this is really tricky for several reasons. First, I have to be precise, and I have to sort of figure out myself where the proper positions are for them. Also, this drill is a little... I'm using a thinner drill than normal. Let's see. The one that I normally use for pinning is this one, which is a 1.5 millimeter. I think the one in the bit right now is 1.2 or even maybe 1 millimeter. And yeah, seeing how the thickness of it, because with this I use this for brass rods, which are this thick, which is much thicker than the attachment point for these. Anyway, this thin drill has a hard time I have getting to sit properly in the bit that won't, I have to pull the bit close really tight, and then it still might slip. But anyway, I have to be very careful. So here's one that I've done, finished. Well, I haven't basted it, but I put the tail in, and I've glued in the ears, and I have prepped a number of bases with milliput and basing rollers to make these wood plank floor bases, because I'm thinking they'll be walking around indoors, not out in a grassy field. So it's not going to be a dirt and grass base. But I have to do this, and it's 14 minis. I have to drill the butts of 14 Playboy bunnies. Phrasing. Anyway, it's tedious work. I'll be listening to podcasts while I do it. And hopefully, here's one I've started. I've added just the tail, got the ears left to do. So I've got 1.5 down, 12.5 to go. This will take me a while, but I'll definitely have them prepped by next week. That's for sure. So we come to the end of this video where I'm supposed to reveal coming projects, but I'm a little unsure what to show you because A, I just started a huge project, the Bunny Girls, which is only in prep so far. And this shipment from Reaper that I've been talking about for the past month or so is finally maybe on the move. I got the notice this past week to pay my import duties and taxes, and so I did. It has not registered any change on the tracking app yet. It doesn't actually seem to be physically moving any closer to me, but you know, I've taken one more bureaucratic step, and I'm hoping it'll be here by next week. But also I have to take into consideration, even though I've got like, what, 22 minis or something like that on the go right now, there's also the fact that school is almost out for summer, if not forever. I've got today and tomorrow to work, and then from Wednesday onward, my time is completely my own. And theoretically, that means I can paint a lot more. So I need it'll depend on my mood how much I paint. Sometimes I get in the swing of things and I paint tons and tons and tons of stuff. Sometimes I don't. But I need to have projects at the ready for if suddenly I, in a few days, just paint up everything that's in the queue. So, what's in the box? What's in this box? Well, it's a bunch of more stuff from Heresy Miniatures. And it is, this time around it's metal models. And this particular little bag contains 3 reclining succubi. And the rest of this is hellhounds. They're in a lot of pieces, so this bag contains all the heads. Each hound has 3 alternate heads. And then we have dice bodies. I think there's like 2 in each, and they need to be assembled. There's 4-quarter, there's a body, and I think all 4 legs need to be attached. So each hound will be 5 pieces, 1 body, 4 legs, and 1 head. And we got 2, 4, 6, 8, if my calculations are correct. So 8 hellhounds and 3 succubi. That's 11 demonic creatures that can go into prep. And you can tell here that they're actually cast with little nubs and hopefully some holes that... Oh, so, okay, so these are the hindquarters, so it's not, perhaps, at least in these, the rear legs are not separate. Both of them are attached to the hindquarters, and you put those into the body, the forequarters here, and there's the 2 holes for the 4 legs, the front legs. So maybe, well, we'll see how many, if it's 5 or 6 pieces per model. That will show itself. And I need to make texture all the bases, maybe get some more milliput, and do some rolling, or green stuff, depending on how the mood strikes me. And yeah, that's at least these are my reserve. Let's put it that way. If it should happen that I finish everything else that I've been working on before next week, I'll get started on these. In any case, they'll be my reserve for when I don't have enough other projects. So that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share, and above all, be back here next week. Same day of the week, same channel, and of course, the same Daki on.